Muslim minority have fled Rakhine State and crossed into neighboring Bangladesh.
So some more details coming out. A 34-year-old South African man reportedly was killed. 12 others were injured in a hot air ballooning accident in Egypt.
The balloon crashed near Egypt's ancient city of Luxor today. Egypt Assistant Health Minister says that there were no other casualties resulting from the accident.
There were 3 South African citizens on the hot air balloon. The deceased is a 34-year-old man. According to the statement issued by the Department of International and Cooperation, 2 other South Africans who are women sustained injuries and are reported to be in a stable condition. Balloon carrying 16 passengers from different countries including South Africa, Argentina, Australia, France and Brazil. Tourists often take early morning hot air balloon rides over the city and the ancient Egyptian temples and relics in neighboring areas. State-run news agency, the crash happened due to bad weather conditions. In Equatorial Guinea, the government has launched a dragnet for mercenaries behind a bid to overthrow President Theodore Obiang, Africa's longest-serving leader. A senior government official says they are carrying out the intensive searches everywhere. The searches are also extended to towns where they are believed to have infiltrated in the capital Malabo. Obiang, 75, who seized power in 1979, has faced a string of coup attempts during his nearly 4 decades in office. Togo's President Faure Gnassingbe has called on opposition leaders to engage in dialogue with government to avert ongoing political crisis in the country. This follows a series of demonstrations in recent months led by the country's opposition calling for an end to half a century of Gnassingbe's family rule. In a televised message, the president said the opposition should join talks with government to iron out their differences so that the country can move forward.
Les auteurs et les responsables d'actes de violence.
Authors responsible for acts of violence, destruction and murder must be sought and subjected to the law. We owe it to the victims, to all the victims. Dialogue must remain the preferred way of resolving disagreements between political actors.
De résolution des désaccords entre les acteurs politiques.
In Israel, a Palestinian woman was released on bail after she was charged with assaulting an Israeli soldier in the occupied West Bank. The video of the incident went viral. Noor Tamimi, 20, was released early on Friday from a military prison after a court rejected the prosecution's appeal against her release. Meanwhile, in Zimbabwe, President Emmerson Mnangagwa made a home visit to the leader of the country's main opposition party, Morgan Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai has been battling cancer. Zimbabwe's political parties prepared to begin campaign for elections due in August. The first since former President Robert Mugabe stepped down following a brief military takeover. Mnangagwa said Tsvangirai is fine and recuperating well. Lehana Tsotetsi, SABC News.
Now to Egypt and the coastal city of Alexandria, around 220 kilometers north of Cairo. Pet owners can now dine out with their furry companions.
These are at cafes specially designed to accommodate animals. Let's take a look.
Dogs, cats and even monkeys have a place in an animal-friendly cafe in Egypt, which allows pet owners to spend quality time with their animals away from home. The Pet Corner Cafe in Alexandria functions like any normal cafe, with one exception. It serves both human and animal food. The cafe was started by pet owner Mohammed Al-Cook, a 31-year-old business graduate from Alexandria University. Al-Cook decided to open the cafe after realizing